So I gave you a couple assignments. We're in Diablo IV today with my Spiritborn character. I'm going to level up twice. So it's been a few weeks, almost 3 weeks since Christmas, maybe 4 weeks since Christmas. That's when I was telling you that weekend you should update to Linux. When you got your, hey, if you could like, subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe, I'd appreciate it. If you get your friends to subscribe, I'd appreciate it. It would help me get to 500 where I could start monetizing the channel. I'd appreciate it. Thank you if you like the content. And if you want to buy me a cup of coffee, go get that QR code. All right, thanks. So, kind of gave you some homework. If you got a PC or maybe you went out and bought yourself a little PC for Christmas, you're going to put Linux on it and not have Windows on it anymore. This really applies to Windows 10. I think you'd benefit if you had Windows 11. I think you'd benefit. The benefits are a little less drastic. Windows 10 is not going to be supported. The support's less. So you want to just have security. The last thing you want is to have something that you could have prevented. Like if you would have switched to Linux, you could have maybe prevented getting a virus or something. You might also do this for your, I always want to think of parents that have Windows 10 or Windows 98 or 95 going. Really Windows 7, right? That was a benchmark Windows distribution. Release, sorry. But whatever the case is, maybe help some people out and get them to Linux. And one of the things, I think for you, KDE is the best desktop environment. And the reason why this is important that you pick that, because that's whatever you decide on YouTube, you're going to give to everyone you support in your life. So you can say, see how the bar is, see how this is. Right? When you're setting someone's computer up, you're going to put their favorite wallpaper. Do you want them to rotate? Do you want pictures of the grandkids? Whatever it is. But you've got to maintain a system to support all these people. You don't have to, but you're doing them a favor. Better a little bit of IT headache than identity theft, trying to get everything back for them. So I might die one time during this because I was too into the screen instead of playing the game. I was like, whatever my problem is. Hopefully I didn't die yet. It'd be twice I've ignored my death in the game. So you're switching to Linux. If you're a gamer, listen, I've tried everything now. I've tried them. I've installed a bunch of these distros. The only one I probably haven't installed is MX Linux, but I've installed, like in the top 10, I probably installed all of those either on a virtual machine or on one of my machines. I ended up right now, I got CachyOS on everything except for one, a openSUSE Tumbleweed rolling distribution. I was really keen on rolling distributions. I'm going to tell you what I think about openSUSE. So I updated it recently. It took so long compared to Cachy. Now, I don't know if it hides what it's doing. In Cachy, when you update the system, it pulls up all the packages it's going to update. Then you do it and you can see it doing it. That's brilliant, right? It's brilliant because it feels like you're updating the system. It's just not a bar going. So, and I updated my system this morning, and there was like 4 or 5 packages update was updating Firefox, so that's good. So I'm starting to care more about it. I really enjoy CachyOS. I'm not against Linux Mint. I'm against it for anyone that's a gamer because you're not getting your best experience, but it's better than Windows 10. So if you're loading people on Linux Mint because you like Linux Mint, that's fine. That's fine, because I think you'll have, eventually when you get to everywhere where you want to be with Linux Mint, it'll still be better than Windows, right? or whatever distribution you use. So let's talk about some other things I tried to do. I tried to do FreeBSD, and I used Dragon BSD because it had KDE. That is like Linux 1990, right? When I used to use Knoppix, Knoppix Linux. It was on a CD, and I'd put it in and do that. It just tough road to hoe. I also have a Mac. A Mac has a thing called Crossover, and you got to pay money for Crossover subscription, which burns Ronin Kaze's tush. You don't want to pay a subscription. Can't run the Division 2, which is like my make or break game. Can't run a lot of games. It'll run Steam. It makes things called bottles because they can't call them containers or whatever. But I recently, I guess Fallout 76 has become my, have I ever told you about my club sandwich theory? In Michigan, where I live, there's a lot of diners. Like every town has a couple diners. And I've worked all over Michigan. And kind of what I've done is this. Whenever I go to a diner, I always order a club sandwich. Because that gives you the barometer, right? In the last video, I was talking about, how do you determine what's real? You got to do some whole numbers. And I just listened. Man, I'm going down deep. I just listened to a Linux video, and the guy said, I'm a computer scientist, and my friends, 60% of my friends have turned to Linux now from Windows. I was like, the 3 out of 5, right? Because quoting numbers without the absolute number is complete trash. So I use a club sandwich as my benchmark of what to eat. So I'm now using Fallout 76 as my benchmark between programs. And so the settings in Fallout 76 are the same on whatever platform I use. Runs all right on my circa 2016 ASUS, which has a 6700 HK processor, 24 gigs of RAM. Runs okay on my Dell Alienware 7700 HQ, Runs okay. Runs great on my 4800 AMD HQ. Runs great on that, and then runs great on my new mini PC. I also have a Mac. Macs are incredibly powerful. The M4 is incredibly powerful. I haven't, because I don't know how to use the software. I use LumaFusion. I'm trying to wean myself off of LumaFusion, use something that I could use on my mini PC, but I have a feeling in the benchmarks, the M4 just trounces everything in that kind of stuff. So on some things, the M4 is fantastic. I played Fallout 76. It stuttered. It's the same settings as all my other PCs. Stuttered. Not good. Not a good implementation. I would not recommend Crossover. So what are you going to do if you're in a Mac? I don't know. That Gorilla Stomp thing is just awesome for my character. I used to have a poison build in Diablo IV with this Spiritborn, and I loved it. And it was great when I was painting like easy characters. Now I'm as hard as I can go. I haven't unlocked the upper tiers. But with that Stomp thing, that's like an emergency key. You're going to see later I panic and all kinds of windows come up. But so Fallout 76 on the Mac didn't run good. It was disappointing. I really want to like Apple Mac. But it's, there's a lot of compromises with the Mac, like in Windows. In Windows, the problem is it's just it's the Wild West. It's like when you see movies about the future internet where there's all these ads and everything coming in there. It's crazy. macOS is curated, but it has things that you have to compromise. It keeps the menu bar, file, edit, view, all that. It's stuck on the top. If your window's down here, it's stuck on top. You always got to leave where you're going back to the top. And they say that's a design choice because of whatever. There's a saying, form follows function, but not in that case. That's the thing that people don't like about Apple, is they force what they think on you. You have to adapt to them. I had an M1 iPad. It was great. It did my videos so fast. It was awesome. I would try to put up my Samsung. It had like an 865. Just couldn't compare. That Gorilla Stomp, just crushing it. Thanks, YouTube. And they had nerfed that iPad so much it wouldn't let you do Windows, wouldn't let you multitask, wouldn't let you hook it into a screen. The Samsung has a built-in DeX desktop that you can run it like a PC. Samsung, that part's great. They don't have an M4 chip. And that's kind of what the problem is. Apple has great hardware, but the software's trash. Sorry, everyone. But Final Cut Pro. I'm not doing a movie, right? So if people might do their movies on Final Cut Pro, and I see those ads, and I can see how you could shoot a movie with an iPhone. But what are you going to edit it on? I will admit to you, if you're just starting out, here's LumaFusion has 3 video channels and 3 overlay channels, let's say. And that's pretty good. The majority of the time, 99% of the time when you're a small YouTuber like me, it's perfect. Because I'm not running 4 or 5 feeds of videos in there and that kind of stuff. In general, it works out great. I don't even know how I did it. I had one video where I had 4 screens of me running the same thing. I don't even remember how I did it. This seems like impossible. But I did it on YouTube. So, that's to say there's no solace in going to Mac either. Windows, trash. Why is it trash? Because it went beyond just being an operating system. It has agency now. I don't need you to have agency. Apple kind of holds off on that, but their hardware is fantastic, but their software is just the choices, and the walled garden that you're in is the thing. It's horrible. So that's why you're in Linux. Listen, if you compare Meet, Google Meet, to FaceTime, there's no comparison. FaceTime's better. The problem is then you got stuck with the rest of Apple stuff, right? They just now let you move icons around instead of that stupid snaky thing. So Linux gives you this freedom to make it what you want, customize it to what you want to do. I think now I've unlocked everything. I'm going to go fight the boss. And there's that Gorilla Stomp in there. That's kind of what I took one of the thumbnails trying to do that. I apologize for that thumbnail. A lot of times it's too dark. Try to do black and white, do the red. There's the screen comes up because I'm panicking. I'm just hitting buttons at this point, or mouse clicking. So what to do? Stomp out Windows from your life. You're not going to find Resolve in Mac. The hardware's too expensive. I got a relatively dirt cheap. It was like $330 PC. I took parts from a broken laptop and put it in there, and that thing runs great. I have 64 gigabyte RAM, which is great for virtual machines and everything else, and it has an APU, which means I can put memory to the graphics. The graphics are great. I've downclocked it down to 25 watts, so it's doing everything on 25 watts. I'm super happy with it. And I can put any flavor of Linux. If you're a gamer, you're going to put CachyOS, and then you're not going to look back. If you're just doing your mom's or dad's computer from 20 years ago, then you might going to have to do something else. You might have to go to a smaller Lubuntu or Linux Mint or something like that. But if you're a gamer, and it's been 4 weeks since Christmas, have you switched to Linux completely? Have you gotten rid of Windows out of your life? YouTube? I have. Ronin Kaze. Bye.